too much done. But they're also forcing a lot of drones back, so that's every little bit of damage counts. And vultures are kind of the sacrificial units of the Terran player in this case. The units you can, they're only minerals, they're not too expensive, you can go out there and build them and sacrifice them to just do a little bit every here and there, delay a little bit. S2 actually going for a 4th at the inside 9, 9. Yes, that is 9 o'clock. And vultures are spotting that out, planning out mines. Flash doesn't really have the units to actually take down that hatchery. Mutalisks out there now. Questioning the good choice of this. Actually going to go out there picking up a few more drones, but actually a lot of Goliaths on the ground, so I'm not quite sure how effective those mutas are going to be. Good idea to pick off those tanks. Flash now moving out, planting down turrets. Gives us a little more defendable position. Working on what I assume to be science vessels at this point. More factories coming up, and he really needs to think about picking up a 3rd. Maybe pick off that 9 o'clock position the closest to him. I think it's going to be the safe base. I think it's actually floating commands that are out there as we speak. Yeah, he does. He is actually doing that. Tanks and the science vessel out there to help defend. There's actually a zerg, and they're spotting that out, so S2 going to know that it's happening. Actually, see a couple of Scourge moving out there, possibly to pick off that science vessel. Actually pulling back. Is he going to actually try to get through there? I'm not altogether too sure. But Goliath's out there with... Oh, man, sudden headache. That's interesting. Haven't had my tea yet. Goliath's out there with Charon boosters, so I definitely not... I'm questioning these Mutalisks by S2. He's picking off a 4th base, so he's definitely running ahead in this game, but I'm questioning the choice of Mutalisks. Mine clearing, sure, yay, but with Overlords you can do that with anybody. But I'm not altogether too sure about these Mutalisks overall. Flash now has weapons too, so he's going to rip, with those Goliaths are going to rip those Mutalisks. With Charon boosters and weapons 2 upgrades, those Goliaths are going to rip those Mutalisks to pieces. So definitely questioning this, and Flash not going to spot this, losing a few of his mines and vultures, but definitely has enough Goliaths. Also going to finally irradiate the queen. Goodbye. Please die. Go away. Guess that's the thought behind there. Still some more mines being cleared out. S2 safely picking up his inside 9 o'clock 4th base. Huge amount of mutas. So he's thinking of just going for a huge engagement with those. I'm thinking, trying to find, maybe even, he could, with a large enough number, if he engage those Goliaths, as long as he just engages them out in the open. But if he tries to, fight over a ridge or some sort, the Goliath range is gonna be bad. A bad case of the death for the Mutalisk if he tries to do that. Still feeling a little bit kind of sloppy commentating these games. Not quite sure where I am, Don't have everything in my head right now. It's kind of funky that way. But Flash also smartly enough put turrets all over these new bases. Has his 3rd now running against S2's 4th, which should be fully saturated fairly soon, if not already. And Flash, though, has mines all over the place, vultures all over the place, trying to make sure that S2 doesn't pick up another base too safely. Trying to run it with vultures. No harassment this time around. Mutas and Hydras ready. Turrets all over the place. And Goliaths in a decent count alongside those tanks. Flash, unfortunately, playing very defensively right now. Not seeing what he can manage to get out the push. When he has the forces, he's going to go for the push because there's a huge amount of tanks. And as long as he has auxiliary forces for those, they're going to rip through the Hydras like hot knife through butter. I'm wondering what that's actually... after this, I'm going to heat up on a knife and then just go through butter. Probably going to go through like a hot knife through butter. But I've never actually tried that, hot knife through butter. Like a chainsaw through skin or something. It's a better saying. Like a chainsaw through my arm. Because that's what I do. I regularly cut arms with chainsaws when I'm bored. Flash now going to work on his 4th. Has another command center coming up. And still looking like S2 has a slight advantage here. But Flash managing to catch the inside 9 in the open. Picking up a bunch of drones. Nice. 1 drone. No, 3 drones stay alive. I thought only 1. 3 drones stay alive. There were definitely 10 at least, and also coming off the mine. So nice vulture move there by Flash, catching S2 completely out in the open. S2, let's see, weapons 2. No, only that's on the ground forces. Only carry +1 on his air forces. So still not sure how safe he feels with engaging, but a lot of tanks out in the open outside the natural expansion for Flash. Huge amount of Hydras and Mutas out there for S2. So I think he just needs to find a space to engage and engage. Flash putting turrets everywhere. There are going to be some irradiates coming in as well. That's going to be important. Irradiating all of those mutas is just going to be so important. Some of the mutas coming in. Scourge as well. Once both science vessels go down. Oh, that's bad. Flash knew. Oh, nice move there by S2. Hiding those Scourge there. Flash looked a little bit confused with that move, but now going to expand to his 4th base. Still just moving a lot, creeping along slowly. And S2 has a massive force of Hydras and Mutas, just a massive. Even Zerglings coming in and just working on the lair. I mean, at this point, you generally see a Zerg player going for a hive, but he's just working, instead of taking up, he's working on the one. Wow, look at that army. He's going to go for it here. Flash going to be forced to completely abandon his 4th base. Just going to go right into this natural expansion. Mutalisk in the air, tanks trying to engage those Hydras on the ground, but the Mutalisk engaging them. No Radiates coming off. Turrets and Goliaths trying to engage the Mutalisk away. Finally, the Radiate coming off, and the commands are going to go down. But Flash, at the very least, pushing him back a little bit. The choke's too small. Oh, man, I thought S2 had Flash there. Armor 2 and Weapons 3, that's what's saving Flash right now. He's really ahead in upgrades. And those Mutas especially, those Goliaths just had to get a few hits off, and they just go down. Greater Spire on the way, so might see some Guardians out there. Whew, this is insane. Didn't even see the hive up. Didn't even see the hive up at all. I thought he just had all those Air Force. But finally has a hive. Just getting the Greater Spire out there. We're going to see a lot of Guardians. And this is going to be very important for Flash to spot. If Flash spots those Guardians, he's going to have the appropriate countermeasures. He's going to be able to ready those, get some Wraiths out there to engage those things. But if he doesn't spot those, he's going to be in a significant amount of trouble. I think he's still just going for Science Cells because he lost so many of those. But Guardians, they really rip everything on the ground to pieces. Look at that number. Oh my god, that is a huge amount of Guardians. I'm scared, guys. I am scared. I mean, 3 times in a row, I have had the former champion, the champion of the MSL, knocked out in the round 32. And the only time that didn't happen was last season. And I'm just freaking scared right now. We're going to see what's going to happen. Oh, those Guardians. Bunch of them being ripped to pieces, though. But Hydra's coming in, Zerglings as well. All those tanks going to get picked off. Everything being ripped to pieces. And Flash looking pretty bad. Nothing to engage. Losing most of his tanks. Does have some more tanks at the back with Goliath as well. Finally raiding some of those Guardians, forcing them back. Not managing to pick up a base here. A 4th base, but still he's done a good job of going around and harassing with his vultures, picking up as many drones as possible. He's took down over half the count of those Guardians, and now just going to try to follow this up. If he rips those Guardians to pieces, he might get back into this game, because I think S2 actually lost a little bit too much in that. A lot of his Hydras go down. His Guardians are all going to go down. S2 going to lose all of his forces here. Oh my god, I thought Flash was done for, but he only lost his forward tanks, and you see that, oh, that breath, that exhale. That exhale, that's the exhale of a guy that, oh man, the guy that failed. Oh man, that is the exhale of a man who knows he's in trouble. Still a huge number of tanks for Flash. Not that many Goliaths, but he's going to get those up fairly soon. Still a lot of turrets. His Natural Expo not vulnerable, but he only mining now. Really mining off that 3rd of his. His main shot, his natural almost done. But if he manages to get that 4th up, he's still going to stay in pretty good shape. Weapons 3 on those Hydras, but just trying to get in close to... Ooh, nice Mind Drag there. Almost a nice Mind Drag there by that. I thought he almost managed to exploit all this one single Zergling. But all those Hydras really can't even get close to engage those tanks, because they're just going to engage them from a distant. Tanks with Weapons 3 against the Hydras. Little Carapace want to see Hydras going to come in close. A lot of turrets actually blockading. A lot of tanks at the back as well. Mines at the front. Some Goliaths coming in to engage as well. Going to see what the Vultures manage to do. S2 knows he has to go for a final attack here. Has to get something done now. But he can't. He just doesn't have the forces. I thought we might have seen an upset in the making, but despite some nice moves from S2, Flash getting back into this, and he's gonna win this, I feel, right now. Finally, Defiler's out there. Years too late. Years too late, I think. Not enough time. Those tanks are going to splash against them, and now Flash finally has moved across the map with his forces. Vultures at the front, tanks at the back, just allowed to siege up. Goliath also to support. Darkstorm's going to come up with the tanks, going to make sure those are not a factor. And S2, despite looking solid, I gotta say, he looked solid, this group overall. I gotta admit, he played good games. I gotta admit, he played good games. Flash yet again moving the Vultures here. Now at the 12, gonna make sure to pick that off. S2 still has still has mining at all of his bases, but the natural and main can't be too hot anymore. But still staying on 4th base for a while. But Flash, the entire game being annoying, picking off 20+ drones the entire game, and just playing extremely defensively aside from his Vulture use. Now finally he can move out with extreme amount of forces and just do a huge amount of damage. Finally GG from S2. No upsets. upsets. No upsets in the first group this time around. Flash looking a little bit of danger, but he certainly doesn't show it. S2, despite a nice performance, get knocked out. So no upsets this time around. My predictions come true. Flash and effort moving out of this one. Flash moving across the middle of the thing, give a bow, and sign some autographs. And I'm going to bring you Group B as soon as I can, guys. Hopefully later today. We're going to see what happens. GG. Ranchanet, I was listening. Hope you enjoyed.